Hello, George from Digital High Road here, and in today's video I want to have a frank discussion about heat maps, the importance of heat maps to your online business, but then also the fact that if you're a senior, an older person, or a newbie and a beginner in marketing, the heat maps may not be the best thing to deal with at first until you get more experience, because they can be rather complicated. While the benefits could outweigh the complications, I would much rather see you as a newbie creating content, not worrying, getting bogged down with heat maps. But I'm going to go over 8 heat maps that are out there. There are a couple good ones that are free that could help you with minimal interference, I guess, if you will, in getting your websites built and content created. So that's what we're going to talk about today is heat maps, and I'll be referring back to a video I did recently about Inspectlet, which I think is an excellent program and simple enough that it would help you more than probably any of these 8 heat maps. So let's move into the heat maps and whether or not you should be dealing with them as a senior. That's today's subject in today's video. Hi, and also I would like to remind you that if you like this video when you get done watching it, please give us a large thumbs up, like it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're a first-time visitor, or if you're a visitor and you haven't done that before, please subscribe to our channel while you're at it. Also reach over there and hit the bell icon, tap it a couple times so you're notified every time I publish a video like today's video. Let's move on into today's video subject. So in this video, we're going to be looking at the top 8 heat maps for 2021. And we're going to be going over these. And as I said, I'm looking at them as choices, but a lot of them are above and beyond a senior using or a newbie using as well. They would provide great information and heat maps and recordings like that, but I would be a little hesitant about recommending them to a newbie or a senior to use, because there is a lot of information you have to figure out and learn to get the information. That's why I wanted to make this video, to support Inspectlet even more as a great choice for a senior or a computer challenged person or a newbie person who is learning for internet marketing. So first we're going to look at today is called Smartlook Heatmap. And after we look at that, we'll move on to the next one, which will be HotJar Heatmap. So let's take a look at Smartlook Heatmap now. Okay, so one of the first heat maps we're going to be looking at is called Smartlook right here. And what we're going to do is put it on a website. It's one of the major ways that you can use this. Website project number 1, as it says here. You'll be putting code in. Put this in a Google Tag Manager. Let's see how else we can do it, if there is any other way to do it. Okay, there'll be a video here. Tells you about what's inside. And you can see this is basically they were maybe making recordings and heat maps. Once you have it set up, we'll look at the upgrades here, the pricing. Okay, the pricing on these is as usual. They're pretty expensive, and that's the reason we're talking about doing this video, is that they do provide the information and what you need to study your website and the users' habits, but they're also very expensive. That's again why I was pointing towards Inspectlet as a lifetime deal from AppSumo as a way to go to get the heat maps and the recordings. And you see they get different levels of service here: 1,500 sessions per month, 75 for $31 a month, $79 a month for 25,000. That's obviously if you have a large site or a lot of business, a lot of sites that you can connect. Let's see here, we can do 3 heat maps on the free one. You can do unlimited, and it'll seem some of these limit websites, native mobile apps, custom package. Okay, that's kind of how that works, 5,000 sessions under the free 1 month worth of history, and it's costing us $0. That's what we're currently on. We'll move on to the next one. So that was Smartlook, which is one of the more sophisticated, harder ones to use. Let's move on to the second one, HotJar Heatmap. I just wanted to show you with the HotJar, or probably with any of these heat maps as we move into the next 7 of them, is that you have to set up, the heat map has to be set up with your website or your web property, whatever it is. So mine happened to be this site. Now what I did was I come in here, and they actually have their own plugin. So what happened was you come in here and just do your normal, find the plugin. If you go to add new and then put in HotJar up here and search plugins, and HotJar appears right here. So I just clicked on it to install and activated it, and then it came in over here under settings down here. And then what you do is you needed to get a HotJar ID, which is back in to the site here. As your code number is in here, we went to settings, sites and organizations, and you get this page here. Now right here is your code number that you need for the plugin. And that's as easy as it is using their plugin that they provide for you. That's what this number is here, and just save it. And you can't copy and paste it, you have to type it in. That's it for the code number on HotJar's plugin. Directions are in the setup. The videos are there for setup, so that's easy to do. Otherwise, you have to put some HTML or Java. I think it's Java. It's JavaScript. You put JavaScript in the header for each page you want done or whatever. But the plugin takes care of that. Okay, so now we're moving into our third one, CrazyEgg Heatmap. Let's take a look at CrazyEgg Heatmap, and then we'll move on into the next one after that. Our next of the 8 heat maps is called CrazyEgg. We'll continue to log in. You take a look and see what this looks like. CrazyEgg is highly competitive and highly respected. That and HotJar are 2 of the hotter ones. MouseFlow is probably one of the top 3 as well. You could have snapshots, create your first snapshot, multiple snapshots. So they're doing basically setting up snapshots. Again, you have to, this says A/B split testing on it, which is cool, but as a newbie, a beginner, it's just confusing for you. Now the product is a good product, but you don't need it right now, and this again is going to confuse. And again, how to install, you have to set up a script. They have WordPress, Google Tag, Shopify, Wix, and these other ones, Squarespace, Drupal, Magento, Joomla, Segment. So that's the sites you can install it on. We'll do WordPress, and again, they have a CrazyEgg plugin. Again, the 8, and it's probably the same thing. Setting up a code in a plugin on your site, and then they'll start tracking what you want to have tracked once you have set up all the parameters and defaults. Then you can customize your recordings. So you set up a URL, whatever. So there's a lot to it. And again, we'll look at the pricing just to show you again. I was telling you in the signal that it's pretty expensive to be using this. Now again, if you're a real big business and you have a lot of sites, it's something you definitely want to track and keep an eye on. As we continue our trek through the top heat maps, we come up to CrazyEgg. CrazyEgg pricing is specifically what we're going to talk about right now. All plans are free for 30 days, and then the plans will have to be upgraded. You just won't be able to use it. So basic plan, $24 a month. Standard plan, $49 a month. Plus plan, $99 a month. Pro, $299 per month. Now, what we get for that? 30,000 views, 25 snapshots, 100 recordings. So they're being very specific about what you're going to get. and three months recording storage. Then you got 75,000 page views, 50 snapshots, 500 recordings. That's 1 year recording storage. 2 years recording storage, 150,000 views, 75 snapshots, 1,000 recordings per month. And then the professional version, unlimited A/B testing. I forgot about that. Unlimited A/B testing on all these. Unlimited websites, unlimited websites, unlimited websites. So they're not being specific about how many sites. That's the pricing. That's the pricing for CrazyEgg. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, now we're moving into the Inspectlet Heatmap. Let's take a deeper look at Inspectlet. And I already set up a site, and there aren't any session recordings yet, and I had to set up the heat map for it as well. And if you look at this, the dashboard is what you're going to get on most of these heat maps. There's a lot of things to think about, a lot of different types of things, sessions. There's going to be a lot of things, like you'll get sessions where you have session length, display name, start, session start, when it started. There will be heat maps, and recordings will be where you get most of your information from. But you can drill down on these because they're very much more complicated than in Signal. And if you do pay for this, we'll look at pricing in a minute. As I showed you back in the Insignal video, heat maps are relatively expensive. Now, they are neat, but for a beginner, I don't think there's something you really need to spend money and time on, and you certainly don't need all the features. As you can see, there's just a lot that goes into this, a lot of work, a lot of things that are provided that you have to figure out. And there's session recordings, heat maps, live, show anything if there's anything currently live going on. Again, Insignal had all this stuff, but this is actually on a site. Wanted to share that with you. We'll move on to the pricing for Inspectlet next. So as we continue our march through the top heat maps, we're at the pricing for Inspectlet. Inspectlet, the pricing currently today looks like this. Now this is per month cost, billed annually. So this cost will be $33 per month is what it's going to cost you. And you'll be billed that times 12 in one payment, or $67, $127, $254, $424. And the differences are in the recorded sessions and the websites. We're on the free version here for demo purposes. The second upgrade is on where we were at. All the companies appear to be going from 1 website to 3, and then 10, 20, up to 40 for site maps. A/B test visitors per month. These are all the same as the approximate page views. Now, if you go for monthly, you just see that went from 33 to 39, 67 to 79, 127 to 149, 254 to 299. That's the difference if you get paid for it either by the month, take it a month at a time, or if you pay for an annual plan, this is how much it's going to be. So this is how much it is per month. It's going to cost you if you just go month to month with what you're going to be using. So that's Inspectlet for pricing. Let's move on to the next top heat map. That was Inspectlet Heatmap. Let's move into now to LuckyOrange, which is one of the more attractive choices, the LuckyOrange Heatmap. So we've just logged into the third of our heat maps called LuckyOrange. And LuckyOrange it's a basic dashboard that you get with these. This one you can add polls to it though too. What you're going to do is you have to figure out a way, find where the instructions are and how to do it. Here's like a tour thing. You take you on a tour, and and explain to you where everything is. Okay, so that was guidance. At any time, go into the settings. You can disable recordings and heat map data. Our set ID is here, which you'll probably need to set it up with the integrations that are available. If you have any recordings, they'll be listed in here. They'll show in here for you. Any behavior tagging if you want to do that. So that was it for that. Tracking code. It's going to be this right here. There's a lot, you can see there's a lot involved in this. That's the reasons that I want to show you how much they are next. And these are really cool, but there's a lot to them, and it's not really for beginners. That's the reason I was promoting Insigno as a product that a beginner would be able to buy and not avoid they can avoid the cost and all the work that there is to set these things up. Let's move on to the pricing for LuckyOrange. So the next heat map we're moving into is called LuckyOrange, and we're looking at the pricing for LuckyOrange. And LuckyOrange is free for 7 days. I signed up for a free trial, I think 4 days ago. So we're going to have to get this review done here, but you can start with free trial, free trial, free trial, free trial with any of these, but then you'll kick over to a charge per month. Now the starter program, I'm on a free trial at the moment. Starter program is 25,000 page views, one site, 2 users, 2 operators, $10 per month. $20 per month, 60,000 goes from 25,000 to 60,000, 3 sites, 4 users, 4 operators. And they call unlimited recordings. Then the medium goes up to $50 per month, 200,000 views, 8 sites, 10 operators. Then the premium, the large value, $100 per month, is 500,000 page views, 16 sites, 20 operators. That's the pricing for LuckyOrange, and we'll move on to the next one. So that was LuckyOrange Heatmap. Let's move on into MouseFlow Heatmap, which again is more newbie friendly. Okay, our next heatmap is called MouseFlow, and I have a free account for this one as well. We'll go into pricing in a couple minutes. I just wanted to show you what was going on with this here. Now, you saw, if you've looked at a couple of them, are pretty, now this is not installed yet, but this is one of the simpler ones. As you can see, there isn't that much involved here. They want you to add a new site. We already added a site. They want you to install it now. Now it gives you like WordPress. And then here's the code. And it tells you the directions. Now most MouseFlow is one of the simpler ones. So they're going to tell you how to set this up and then save changes. And this one, there's a MouseFlow for WordPress plugin. That's the one thing here. If we do that, and they'll walk you through, it's reasonably simple with this one. So I decided to add a site to this, and we'll just make this a personal blog, and we'll go next. Now here's what they're going to do. They're going to do the recording rate. They tell you what's involved with it. And block EU traffic. That's obviously for reasons of the GDPR. These are settings. Exclude certain IP addresses. We'll just say finish create. Now we'll go WordPress. And now it's going to tell we need to get a WordPress plugin for that site. So we're going to the Western Horse site. We'll add a plugin. And we want mouse. And enter. There it is, MouseFlow for WordPress. Installing now. Activate. And then we'll come over here. And then again, that's what there is. So we got the code installed. So here it is. And we'll go back. Changes we did. Move on to next. And then what it's going to show you is to activate tracking. You can do this by activate tracking button from your website. overview page. Let's click on that. What we're going to do, I just want to show you again this. There's a lot to these. You got to have a lot of things right. So again, I think Insignia is still a better thing. We'll look at pricing real quick for MouseFlow as well. This one did look a little bit easier to deal with than the other ones. So as we continue our march through the top heat maps that we're doing a review of, the next one is MouseFlow. And we're looking at the pricing for MouseFlow. Flexible plans to meet your needs. We're on the free plan right now. As you see, that's grayed out. The other plans are, you can do them monthly or annually. Now, the plans are currently $24 a month for 5,000 recordings, unlimited page views, one website. Okay, that's a key right there. The next thing is there's the growth model, 15,000. It could be used on 3 different websites. 6 months for storing them. 3 months for storing them on the $24. The business plan, 50,000, 10 websites, $159 a month. And then the pro version, you can see how that changes there. We're going to take, this is if it's billed annually. So it's 24 times 12, 79 times 12. If you just go on the monthly plan, you're up to $29 each month, $100, basically $99 a month, $200 a month, $400 a month, about $1 short. But that's the pricing for MouseFlow, and it is currently priced. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Was a more detailed look at MouseFlow Heatmap. And move into number 7, PTEngine Heatmap. The next one's called PTEngine, and we're still logging in here. PTEngine looks like this. Again, you get the drift that you're going to set up a website on it. This as a free account, so it only has one site that you can do, but everything here is basic. Help center. Again, as you're finding a lot of the training is not that good, and I guess you'd be a professional SEO company, then you would know how to do these. WordPress plugin setup, again, same thing, using WordPress plugin, setting up, putting a code in. And I guess that's it there. Setting up a heat map and allowing recordings of activity. So that's how that works. Again, we'll look at the price on PTEngine in a second. So the pricing for PTEngine, this evidently is a Japanese or foreign country site, and this is for yen. I just looked up the yen right now is approximately 100 US dollars is equal to 10,747 yen. So you would have to figure that out, what this would be. This is per month if you pay it annually. And down here they have it per monthly. I'm not going to go over that. To just show you a screenshot. You can look at it. If that was something you're interested in, you can figure that out on your own. Thank you. We'll move on to our next one. That was the detailed look at PTEngine Heatmap. Let's look at our last, number 8. Number 8 choice for heat maps is SeeVolution. SeeVolution Heatmap. Let's take a closer look at SeeVolution. So we get to SeeVolution, and this is what we get. Evidently the site's not working right now. I can't do a review of it because I can't make access to it. So I don't have any SeeVolution pricing, nor do I have a SeeVolution review. But that's 7 that you can choose from, plus 1 that I couldn't get a hold of right now. I'll put a link for this down in the description, and if you can get access to it, then that will happen, and if not, then that will happen as well. Just to let you know, a reminder again that the internet world is not perfect and never has been, never will be. Okay, so that concludes our 8 choices for heat maps outside of Insignal, and let's move on into a summation. So in summation, this whole video is about, as I said at the beginning, for newbies or seniors or computer challenged people, the concept of heat maps and recording of sessions is a great way to find out what the users on your web property are doing and what they're looking for. It helps you understand them a lot better. However, the 8 choices I gave you are choices. Some of them are simpler to use than others, as you could see. Some are more difficult to use. The recommendation at this time by me is to try to avoid any of the 8 choices as a newbie, as a senior, as a computer challenged person. But if you are more experienced, these are 8 great choices you can choose from. The thing is, I just wanted to, reiterate, if I would, that Insignal is a great deal. It's important to realize that heat maps and recordings are a vital thing for the future, probably for your web property, and making it more of a success and a go for you to get better click-through action. So I would say that just do your due diligence, fully realize your capabilities, fully realize the skill set that would have to come along with using a heat map. And if you do that and you keep open-minded, then it's, you'll make a great decision. I know it. If you got some value from this video today, please give us a thumbs up, like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And if you haven't already, reach out and hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I publish a new video to our site. And I'd also like to remind you one last time that if you are struggling with your online business, your online presence, and not making any money consistently, and you want to build a long-term business you're proud of, then click the link down in the description for great free training. And the training is free and available today, so don't put it off. Do it today. Get started today. Click the link down in the description for great free training.